Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. In front of me are the components for pancakes. We got a recipe from allrecipes.com that claims to be the best pancake recipe. So why reinvent the wheel? I'm not going to go into my basement laboratory and look for ways to combine new things into pancakes when pancakes already exist. The only thing that I did is bump up the salt a little bit and add a little vanilla because I believe that vanilla goes in pancakes. Now with that said, I'm doubling it because we have a lot of toppings to try. And let's just have fun with it. We're going to use 1.5 cups of flour, 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. That's double action baking powder for people who don't know anything about baking powder. 1 tablespoon of regular everyday sugar, 3 tablespoons of butter, which we're going to melt in just a second, 1 egg, I wrote 1, duh, and I still almost said 2. See, I told you, I have no mental permanence when I'm doing this whatsoever. And 1 1/4 cups of milk, the label for which is over here, and befuddled me greatly 2 seconds ago. Also, it calls for 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going for half, so that's 1 because I doubled it, but you don't need to know that. Anyway, let's get cracking. We're going to start by melting our butter. I'm also going to start heating my cast iron on low, just so that it speeds up the process. And just to get some of this crap out of my way, I'm putting the flour, again, 1.5 cups of flour, in my big giant bowl. Obviously, you want butter in pancakes because butter gives moisture to the whole thing. Melting the butter allows you to combine stuff, obviously. Well, maybe it's not obvious, I don't know. Anyway, while that's melting, I'm going to add my 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. You might remember from the Queen's Drop Scone episode that double action baking powder, when it hits a certain temperature, will give it a second little boost of fluffiness, I guess. Then I'm going to throw in my salt and my 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay, I've got my 1 egg, which I'm going to crack. Break open. Cracked my 1 egg. And now I'm mixing. Again, remember that I am making a double recipe, which is why I'm giving you the wrong numbers. I am not, in fact, having a medical emergency just yet. So that's almost done. This is almost done. I'm going to go ahead and just whisk this in here. What's the worst that can happen? 1, 2. Okay. That's all melted. I'm going to go ahead and add my 3 tablespoons of butter to my milk. And again, that'll help with moisture. Why did I do that? I needed that for the other thing. That's fine. It'll be okay. See, I lack the ability to have object permanence. Oh, so that was stupid. Okay. So apparently... Okay, so I probably shouldn't have poured the hot butter directly into the milk because the butter is angry now. But that's okay. I'm going to stir all these guys over here together. These guys seem like they're all mixed together. I'm just going to mix it a little extra because I tend to think things are better than they are usually when it comes to batters and stuff. My recommendation is almost always mix flour stuff a little more than you think you need to while it's at this stage, and try to get it to the point where And try to get it to the point where it's not clinging to anything. Okay, now we're going to make a big divot in the middle. Right. I almost dropped Bernie on the floor there. Anyway, now we're going to pour everything together. Oops, I probably should have mixed that slowly. That's fine, we'll be okay. Notice that it comes together pretty quickly, as most batters tend to. I do recommend mixing in the butter after you've got it going a little bit, just so that you avoid that butter solid thing that I had going on. Okay, in front of us we have some fillings. We've got some raspberries, we've got some bacon, we've got some chocolate, we've got some strawberries. I've also got some syrup that is, at least it's been to Canada. I don't know if it was produced there. On the back it says it was made in the US and Canada, which is weird. I think it's Canadian, and I think that it was just distributed in the US. I don't know. Shout out to my Canadian friends. We're going to go ahead and turn the heat up to about medium on my cast iron. I've got some plates ready. We're going to start with our good friend vegetable oil. Get our surface nice and shiny. Let the oil heat for a little bit. We're going to take 1/4 cup of our pancake mix. Like many of you, I probably make pancakes about, I don't know, 4 times a year. And oftentimes I'm guilty of using the Bisquick, which is fine. You know, it's fine. But it's not quite... It's fine, you know. But then you realize how quickly pancake batter actually comes together, and you're like, why? So we're going to try the reason I got up this morning. Chocolate bacon pancakes. Making pancakes, chocolate bacon pancakes. Take chocolate bacon, put it in a pancake. No. Cartoon Network, please don't sue. Your life will be easier if you have one of these pancake-shaped spatulas. There we go. Not bad on that one. See, you always need a practice pancake. After the practice pancake, things turn out a little better, I think. Try not to eat too many of the toppings while you're doing your cooking show. Now, just remember, when you flip it over, it will look like a Lovecraftian atrocity. There's no avoiding it. It just is what it is. Because it's a chocolate bacon pancake. Okay, I figured out what I was doing wrong. You don't want medium heat, you want medium-high heat. And the first pancake that I did was on kind of a lower heat. So you want more of a medium-high for this. My first one turned out poorly because I had it too low. My second one, I was struggling with the camera. So maybe this will be Baby Bear. But you want a really hot griddle. We might actually have to cut filming in a minute to turn the fan on. This fan is loud as hell. You can't really film around it. Bacon, pancake, chocolate. Don't worry, Jerkins, I'm not gonna. Notice how much faster it is when you do it this way. You can see the holes forming, whereas before you couldn't. Let's see. Is it too soon to flip? Nope. Perfect. Gonna let that sit for a second. It took 3 tries, but that's okay. And look at that. Pretty good. Much better than the first 2. Anyway, I'll be back once I've done with the chocolate bacon ones. I'm going to do a couple plain, just to have some normal looking ones so that we can see how it cooks. Again, you see the bubbles a lot more when you're not filling them with crap. These turned out okay. The challenge is that the sugar from the chocolate chips is gonna burn. See? Perfect. In hindsight, I probably should have put this on the front of the episode. Look at the rise on that, too. Bubble. Bubble, bubble, flip. See how easy this is once you get it going, though. And then you can get into the fancy crap like the bacon and the various fruit products. Notice that if I turn the heat down, you don't get nearly as much browning. You get this kind of spider webbing. Now let's try the strawberries. I'm not sure if I cut the first one or not. Probably. But I tried to do one as my test pancake. It did not work. I was sad. Jerkins, if we cut the first one, show a picture of it now. See how much better this one looks, y'all? See how much better this one looks? That first one? No. This one? Yes. Beautiful. Look at that. And last but not least, I'd like to try a stack of raspberry. Now, some of you may ask, Mark, why? Why cook the fruit? Why not just throw it on the top at the end? And I'm here to tell you, the reason we cook fruit is because it concentrates the sugars. Those juices don't burn off, really. As the fruit dries out, the sugar condenses. It's the same reason why if you dry an apple, you wind up with the same amount of sugar in the apple. Same amount of calories. You eat an apple's worth of apple chips, you might as well have just consumed an apple. It's also why apple chips are dangerous for me, because I eat like 5 apples in a sitting. But whatever. Now, here's the trouble. Where I anticipate the problem to exist in the raspberry pancakes is they're so fat that they're hard to flip, and I didn't cut them up, which may be a mistake. We'll find out together. See how it's still got liquid coming out the end? I'm probably not getting full contact on the griddle. It's probably sacrificing a little cooking. Probably just learned that we need to cut up our raspberries, but I'm not going to. Yeah. So, we'll call this a good starter idea. Okay. We're going to call that one a failure. I'm going to finish making the last of the pancakes, and then I'll be back. The pancakes are done, and we're ready to top. Start with a little bit of syrup. Don't go too nuts. For the chocolate bacon ones, we got a little chocolate. We got a little bacon. Right? Right. We're treating it like dessert, so we might as well. And we'll stick these over here. Okay, that's it. Look at that. Turned out pretty good. Right? Right. Okay. Like, subscribe, click the little bell. New episodes every Wednesday. Link to the recipe in the description. Thanks to allrecipes.com, I guess. I don't know what you say here. You know, it's pancakes. It's freaking pancakes. Bye. Why do I wave at the camera? Okay, bye. Bye.